And as we get into this, I want to make sure that everybody's having a good time out there with these crazy markets and everything, right? So we're going to be talking today about what's going on. I think we're at a bit of an inflection point, and I actually wonder if we might be kind of flagging a little bit. This is kind of interesting. So we'll get into that in just a second. If you guys want to know a little bit more about what I do and how to get in contact with me, and then also if you want to kind of read about how to navigate these volatile markets, you can go here, simplertrading.com, navigating today's markets. We're going to be posting a link in the chat for that. And then just sign up, name, and email, and that way you'll get that for free. So I kind of figured that would be better than the 20 stocks for 2020 since everything just got demolished and we are in a new paradigm for what the stock market is doing. So let's kind of dive in a little bit. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions, leave some comments. We do check this after the live feed, and it'll be really fun to kind of follow up and chat with you all and see what's going on. You can see I was kind of looking at some other stocks around there. And then, there we go. All right, yeah. So as we kind of go into here, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. That way you can get alerts and notifications for when we do this. We're going to be doing now YouTube and Facebook Live every Wednesday, 10:30 Central, which is right about now. And so for anybody watching this after the fact, that's how you can figure out when we're going to be doing it live. Now, the last few days, we've been moving up pretty steadily. I've been looking for a pullback. We got a pullback Monday right there. You can see that right there. And then I could tell that it did a little bit of a bottoming right there. And then it bounced up yesterday. So yesterday it kind of bounced up. I knew we were getting a little bit overbought in this situation, mostly because you could see price running right into the underside of the daily 50. That was going to be an issue. That was going to be a bit of a barrier. And then I was also looking for price to actually come down and test the hourly 50. It didn't. So I was like, okay, maybe there's going to be a little bit more upside. Well, the rest of the market like that. We've been seeing some crazy moves with Amazon and Netflix and JD and a couple others, Tesla even, that were doing really well. The other thing that I was noticing is that, as I said, this is kind of getting up there. Look at the line right there. You see that line that I've drawn in? Look exactly where it went. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So I've been looking at these things. We just had a manufacturing report that came out today, and of course it wasn't good. I mean, is that any kind of surprise? Retail sales are also down significantly. But again, is that any surprise? Nobody's going to work, nobody's buying anything except for Amazon, which is why things are doing well for Amazon stock. Now, here's where I think that we need to possibly open our minds to a different idea. Now, right now, I've been looking at the daily 50 as kind of being an issue. I've been looking at that thinking, hey, is this going to be all she wrote? If we have price going up to the daily 50, is this thing just going to roll over? Well, if that's the issue, then we're there. But then I'm kind of looking at this again and saying, there are a lot of other stocks that are doing pretty well, isn't it? Like Amazon and Netflix, granted, there's good reason for those stocks to be doing well. But then I was kind of thinking, and I just want to kind of float an idea out there. Don't know if it's going to work. We need to keep watching, but we also need to be prepared for it because a lot of people right through here was expecting the market to continue down and do a double bottom right there. And it didn't happen. And I think a lot of people got caught short and got caught flat-footed, and we ripped up here. Well, we've had a good week and a half of pretty solid movements coming into this resistance area. And now that we've kind of pulled back a little bit, I'm wondering, we're just going to need to kind of check this out. We have the 8 over the 21. And then this is potentially setting up for my trampoline move that I like. So I'm going to be looking for that, seeing if price really just kind of needs to come down a little bit or just do sideways. Maybe it needs to kind of catch some footing and then maybe able to go back up again. Now, I don't think it's going to go too far. We really need to watch this and be careful about it. We do still have the daily 200, which is significant. But I'm just wondering if there might be one last little move sometime in the future. Not entirely sure when. Let me kind of show you a couple of reasons why I'm thinking that. And then before we get to that, make sure everybody else is getting to where they need to go. If you're interested in learning more about myself and kind of how to navigate these markets right now, come sign up here. You get it's free, and you can get this ebook that I wrote. And then if anybody is interested in my stock alert service, Come over here. It is simplertrading.com/Moxie. There we go. We got it loaded up. And I've been doing a pretty good job leading the subscribers into how we're trading with these markets. Been doing pretty well. And a lot of people like to take my trades and actually apply them to options. And they've been making some pretty good money out there. So I got to say, we've been having a fun time and doing well at it. So simplertrading.com/Moxie. All right. Some of the things I've been seeing. Let me show you SPCE, space. Hey, Imran. So yeah, if you guys want to, be sure to leave comments, hit the like buttons, make sure you subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions and any kind of tickers that you want to be looking at. So yeah, go ahead and send those on over. Here's what I've been noticing. See when price, the 200 is the hourly 200 is this kind of orangey colored line. And so notice that when price is able to get past it, a lot of these stocks have popped. Now, they do these in different configurations in different ways. Some of them are really taken off like space, and some of them kind of aren't. But this one, look at the massive amount of volume that came into this. I mean, look at all that volume. So this thing looks pretty sustainable for now, and it looks like it wants to probably get past the daily 50 as well as it's following along the 15-minute 50. So that one looks pretty good. Let me show you some of the other ones, maybe SGMS. Yeah, Pacific Standard, I am. Yeah, last week, a bad job numbers actually kind of helped goose the market because, well, the Fed then shot in another $2-something trillion into the market. I think everyone is fully prepared for these numbers to keep growing. Same thing with the market, the manufacturing and the retail numbers today. They're dismal. They really are. But again, is it any surprise? No. Is the market reacting to it? Sure. But we could also say that the market is running it right into the daily 50. Hey, JB. Yeah, good to see you guys. So look at something like this. This is SGMS. And notice that it has gotten past the hourly 200, which is that orangey color line. But notice that it hasn't really fallen apart, has it? Now it's pulled back a bit. And you see the magenta color line right here, which is the hourly 50. Notice that it's starting to turn up. And the 50 has not quite crossed the 200 yet, but, you know, it might be coming. And so for as much as that price has come down today because of what the market did, I got my screens over here too, notice that it's kind of recovering for now. Now we got to see if this is going to work. We don't know yet. This could all be like whatever and it just finally rolls over. But we got to kind of keep this idea in mind. So for now, price is over the moving averages. We've seen what price will do when it can get past these moving averages, like the hourly 200. I mean, let me show you Tesla. You know, we saw Tesla, we saw space. I mean, look at these things. Once they get past their 200, they go. Now, maybe they don't all go like Tesla. Maybe they don't go like space. But I'm looking at these saying, well, SGMS, if these things can hold, and if the market holds, then these might actually move up a little bit further, which might actually give a little bit of oomph to the market as well. And I'm looking at this saying, hey, you know, this thing looks like it wants to go. Where might it go? It might go here, which is at, or here. You know, this is a previous price level, and this is the daily 50. I don't know. That might be shooting towards the moon. Who knows? Maybe it'll only go here, which is kind of the top of this previous price level too. Maybe. Maybe it won't go very far. But it'll be interesting to see and to look at that and say, well, you know, there's still 20%. Still 20% right there. Jarrett, let's see. Let's look at Las Vegas Sands, see what's going on in some of those things. A lot of these things are looking similar. So everything I just said about SGMS and kind of the theory that I'm running with right now with, well, not Netflix, but Tesla and space and some of the other ones that I can show you, is once they can get past their hourly 200, which is the orangey color line, it's just holding, isn't it? It's not falling apart. The market kind of dropped a little bit today. Yeah, okay, Las Vegas Sands dropped a little bit, but it's still in range, isn't it? It's pretty much just flagging sideways. So what's it maybe doing? Well, maybe it's waiting for the hourly 50 to come up and underneath it. And look, the 8 and 21 just about to cross. So it seems to me that there might be some more upside to these things. We can't tell yet. They're just going sideways. We do need to be careful and see if these things really start to roll over. I'm mostly going to be watching the 15-minute time frame. see if price actually gets rejected by, let me draw that one a little bit better, if price gets rejected by the underside of a downtrending 15-minute 50, but if that doesn't happen, then maybe we're looking at support of the 15-minute 200, and maybe these things move up to, again, previous price area, or maybe previous top, or the daily 50, something kind of in that range. And we say that, well, where is that right now? That is roughly 13%. Okay, so maybe that's a good target that we're looking at. Let's see. Yeah, I think JD just is going, so there's not too much to say about that, except just be careful in this kind of market that when things get overbought, they probably want to pull back a little bit. But JD is doing great. I mean, look, it's been bouncing off of its moving averages. It is a little extended right here. Maybe in this market you want to kind of pull some profits in, kind of like that. But so far, JD is doing well. All right, so for those who are kind of coming in and out and bopping around, if you guys are interested in my trade alerts and how I teach the market and whatnot, come join the service, simplertrading.com/moxie. And then once again, for a market like this, kind of crazy, I wrote a little something, a free ebook about how to navigate these volatile markets. So some little tips and tricks about how I do it and what to kind of keep in mind out there. So we've dropped a couple links in the chat. Be sure to check them out. Let me know what you think. So we'll kind of slide back over here. Oh, and then another thing that kind of reminded me, go tell a friend. Tag a friend in the comments, because I actually had a friend back in Arizona. That's where I was born and raised. She actually called me up. She's like, hey, I got a friend who's trading. She's been trying to do it for a while. She's kind of making some success, but I feel like she was where you were years ago. Can you help her out? And I said, absolutely. So I called her just the other day, and she said, actually, it sounds like what you do is exactly what I need and what I want to do. And so she just signed up yesterday. So tag a friend. I know a lot of you guys probably know some people who trade. Send them on over. Let me know if we can help them out. Come join the community. Let's see. Let's go with ZM. Now, this one hasn't been something I've wanted to trade yet. There was a quick trade here. What you'll notice is that price bounced off of the daily 50, and then you can see price started to engage with the 15-minute 50 right there. Okay, that was a good setup. Not quite my thing. I didn't really want to be looking at something like that, but it was a pretty good move. What'd it get? Almost 22%. Not too shabby. But those are kind of how the metrics that I look at it. And with the Moxie indicator, you can see that price was going down, the indicator was moving up, and then look at this. This is what I call a trampoline move right there. So price kind of, bounced right through the uptrending 15-minute 50, and the Moxie indicator stayed above zero. It's pretty neat. I gotta say, I like the indicator, how I built it, and how I trade with it. And yeah, I just can't make this stuff up. So it works out pretty well. Hey, Rebecca. How you doing out there? Let's see, what's going on with Tesla? It's up a little bit, isn't it? Oh, not too bad. It's hanging in there. I imagine you still have your put on that one. I'd hang on to that thing. I mean, look at that. Look at that gap. You're also right at the previous height, area right there. You're way outside of that. Basically, maybe just a touch early. Price was still over the 15-minute 50. So that's kind of something I'm looking at. Let's take a look at, let me just slide this over. Here's the other thing. It did slice through the 5-minute 50, but it hasn't exactly gotten rejected by the 5-minute 50. We'll see if that actually happens at some point. Sometimes it can be pretty clear. And then also you still have the 5-minute 200 along with the 15-minute 50. So you still have a lot of moving averages overhead that you have to kind of get through if you're going to go down. So I kind of think that the sentiment is probably correct, but it is challenging to short something when it's still moving up, up, up. I like to wait until it actually breaks and gets caught by a lot of moving averages. Sorry, guys. As you might imagine, I've been doing a lot of talking with the market doing what it's doing. All right, so MRNA, this one was actually just brought to my attention again. I've made a few bucks on this one here and there. I think, probably coronavirus stuff. They've been working on it, trying to find a vaccine and all that. I was able to catch a quick little trade right there, as you can see with the lines. And then what it do? Trampoline move. So for anybody, I guess I can actually get rid of that. So trampoline move is when price dips below the 50 and the Moxie indicator stays above zero. There it goes. So it worked out, and you could see that there was a double bottom, And then let me show you real close. Look at this thing. Here was, if I had been looking for it, here's the entry. When price gets over the 15-minute 50 and the Moxie indicator at 0. Right there. And then this morning did a little bit of a tap on the 15-minute 50 and then right back up. So yeah, that one worked out pretty well. I personally wouldn't be going in it right now. I would love to buy a pullback, so we'll have to kind of keep an eye on it. Yeah, mRNA totally off to the races. Just something I wasn't looking at. I had a fair number of positions already going. So yeah, I wasn't really looking around at anything too much yesterday or the day before in that regard. All right, GDX. Yeah, I know. Gold miners have been doing pretty well. I'm a little hesitant to play them just because they are so volatile. They are very volatile. They kind of have some oh global monetary effects. You know, they're going to get kind of moved around because of what's going on with the dollar and fiscal policy and stuff. So I've kind of stayed away from some of the gold related stuff. That being said, clearly this thing was overbought. I mean, look at this thing. It's outside of the third ATR. You know, it's right at the previous high right there. And you can also see there was a big gap between price and the 8 EMA. So generally let it come back down. You know, what I would be looking for is price to at least come back to the hourly 50 or the hourly 50 to come up to price, something like that. Now, I think at this point the question is it going to do a hard bounce off of the hourly 50, or is it going to kind of go through the hourly 50 a little bit, maybe do that trampoline move that I just showed on mRNA, something like that. So I'm going to give GDX a little bit more time. It does seem like gold related products, like anybody see Newmont? Let me show you Newmont. Yeah, how's that for taking off? So it does seem like gold is a good place to be, but for right now, it needs to come back down, settle back down. If you're already in it, great. Maybe take some off, kind of pull in some of those profits. If you're looking to get in, got to give it some time. This thing is way overbought. I mean, look at this thing, just right up in here, like big old gap between price and the moving averages. So, yeah. Let me know if you guys have any more kind of questions or comments. We'll be on here for just a few more minutes. And be sure, as I said, tag a friend. Let me know what's going on. Send them over. Let me know if we can help out. Here's another funky one I kind of been talking about. I guess it's not doing too well today. This is one I've been cautioning about. I had kind of higher hopes to see if this thing was going to work. I was looking to see if price would just kind of hold there and just maybe hold right there as of yesterday. But when today it started to break down, I could see like, nope, that thing wasn't going to work out. You know, the Moxie indicator never turned. But I wanted to see if price could just get over the 15-minute 50 today, and it just couldn't do it. So that one was something I was kind of looking at, and it didn't hold up. So no luck there. And then RCL, I was kind of talking about some of these cruise lines. You know, going back to what I was saying earlier in this broadcast is maybe we need to be prepared for the market to possibly go up. I know it's down today, but it's holding, and it's not doing too poorly. We need to keep seeing where it's going to go, but you know, that whole theory about if price can get past the hourly 200, and perhaps if it can get supported by the hourly 50, then maybe there's a move to the upside someplace. And this thing has a high percentage, mostly because it's just been moving all over the place. So I'm kind of keeping my eyes on these things. You know, let's see what we can do about that. All right, AMC. Let's see what's. Can't say I really see anything here. Yeah, nothing's really holding yet. And this thing is really just, you know, like kerplunk, kerplunk, kerplunk. You know, yeah, just can't quite do it. And you can see here, like this is where I'm talking about, like for the ones that look like they're setting up, can they get over the hourly 50? This one did not, and you could see that yesterday. Like if we zoom in right there, you can see that as of, well, 2 days ago. See how price just could not stay over the hourly 50? So, you know, that one's out. And even right now, I'm still not quite seeing much, you know. Yeah, I kind of see maybe there's a double bottom, but you know the indicator's not doing much for me, and I just don't think that this thing really looks like it wants to go up. It doesn't look like it's got a high energy, high volume thing that wants to go up in there, and then you can see here price got trapped and stuck underneath the 15-minute 50. Yes, Soren, I am. Yeah, sorry, I need to turn up the size on these things, the font. I always kind of forget. I need to just do that anytime I broadcast. But yes, The daily is the left chart, hourly is the middle chart, and 15-minute is on the right chart. So let's take a look at, let's say, Okta real quick. Yeah, see, this is kind of what's making me think that, we're in bad situations about the market. No doubt about that. I am thinking that at some point the market will roll over, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go back and test lows again. But for right now, with the giant $4.5 trillion bazooka that the Fed is throwing at it and zero interest rates, maybe there's just a little bit more because something like this is doing all right. That being said, trampoline move right there when price is below the hourly 50, but the Moxie indicator is above zero. And you can see the entry was right there when price got over the 15-minute 50. Since then, it's doing a great job following the 15-minute 50. Now, that being said, maybe you want to cash in a little bit if you're in something like this because it has had a stellar move. It is outside of the third ATR, and it's starting to pull a little bit away from the daily 50. So make sure in a market like this you keep paying yourself because you never know when these things are going to reverse on you. And then, yeah, see this CERN, something like this, a little bit more concerned about it because what you're doing is you're running right into some overhead resistance. It might continue, but I'm figuring, and also look where price is. You can see this level is right there at this level. So there's some resistance there. My other thought is that when we get into situations like this, that what are they going to do? Does it seem likely that they're going to just kind of keep going up like that? Less likely. This is why I think that the market also might be doing something like this until it can finally catch something, because maybe it needs to get a little bit of more strength right in through here before going up. That's just my thought. We'll have to kind of see how things go. And let's see if match kind of lines up with what I'm thinking. Not quite what I was thinking, because this one moved earlier. You can see that there was a trampoline move right there, and then it moved. But this one is right between the 50 and the 200. So let me just kind of circle back to the S&P real quick. And that's why I'm just wondering. We'll have to see. But this was overbought. There's a big gap between price and the hourly 50. And we'll have to just give it some time. But that's why I'm just wondering if maybe price is going to kind of chill out in here before maybe it goes a little bit further, and maybe it needs to come into the 8 right there. I'm just kind of throwing out another little something because right now, if that doesn't work, then what we're doing is we're running right into the underside of the daily 50, and we're going to have to be very careful that then if this does this, that it doesn't do that. So those are kind of the parameters that I'm looking at. As I said at the beginning of the video, we're very much in an inflection point, and we kind of need to just give it some time because right now we're dealing with the daily 50, and we're kind of in an odd spot on the hourly chart. So that's where I'm going to be heading out. Let's going to just leave it here for anybody else who's kind of coming in and picking up on this. If you guys are interested in some tips, a free ebook about how I'm trading these volatile markets right now, which makes sense, just name and email and we'll send it on over to you. And then if you're interested in my alert service, which is where I teach people how I trade and guide them into trades and kind of do all this market analysis to the subscribers, they've been having a good time. We've been having fun. Rebecca, it sounds like you're having a good time out there. JB, appreciate it. So yeah, come here, simplertrading.com/Moxie. And yeah, remember, tag a friend. Come on, tell them to come on over. I'd love to help out more people and see what we can do. And it's a great community. Everybody's in there typing away and chatting, seeing what we can do. So thanks again, everybody. Hopefully this dual broadcast worked out pretty well. Seems like it did. And we'll be doing that again next week, same time, 10:30 Central, which is Austin time, and here on Facebook and YouTube on Wednesdays. So thanks again, everyone, and take care.